Welcome to GZ Coins World YouTube channel where ordinary coins turn into extraordinary treasures. Today you are going to discover 4 Liberty Lincoln pennies that could shack you right out of your seat. My dear treasure hunters, coin collectors, and history lovers from around the world. What if I told you that a tiny copper coin in your pocket, one that was once worth just a single cent, could now be worth a staggering $313 million? Yes, you heard that right. Today, we dive deep into the mystery, the rarity, the history, and the explosive market value of the 1964 USA Lincoln Liberty 1-cent coin, a coin that has left collectors stunned and historians intrigued. A coin not just of monetary worth, but of pure American legacy. Get ready to be blown away by the most fascinating story a penny has ever told. Segment 1. The birth of a legend. America in 1964. It was the year 1964. The United States was in the midst of major transformation. The civil rights movement surged through the nation. President Lyndon B. Johnson had just signed the Civil Rights Act. The Beatles were storming America. The Vietnam War was escalating. And deep in the heart of Colorado, at the Denver Mint, something incredible was being created, a humble little penny. But this wasn't just any penny. This was the 1964 Lincoln 1-cent Liberty coin, the last of its kind in many ways. It marked the end of an era. You see, 1964 was the final year the Lincoln cent was struck with only 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc before the U.S. Mint transitioned toward more cost-effective compositions due to rising copper prices. And with more than 3.8 billion of these pennies produced, you might think, how could any of them be rare? But stay with me. Because hidden among those billions, there are a few coins, ultra-rare errors, unique mintings, and astonishingly preserved examples that have sold for insane amounts of money. And one has been estimated at $313 million. Segment 2. The face of a legacy. Lincoln's iconic portrait. Let's take a closer look at this small but mighty coin. On the obverse, you see the bold, wise profile of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner, this portrait has graced the penny since 1909, celebrating Lincoln's 100th birthday. That makes it the longest-running design in American coinage history. But in 1964, Lincoln's face on this coin had even more significance. The nation, divided in ideology and scarred by war and social unrest, looked to Lincoln's image as a reminder of unity, justice, and progress. Beneath Lincoln's profile, you see the date 1964, and just beside it a tiny but powerful D mint mark signifying the Denver Mint. Turn it over, and there stands the Lincoln Memorial etched with meticulous detail, flanked by the words 1 cent United States of America et pluribus unum, out of many, one. A coin designed not just for commerce, but for pride. Segment 3. Rare varieties. Errors that made history. Now here's where things get really interesting. Among those billions of 1964 cents, only a tiny fraction contain minting errors and unique anomalies that send collectors into a frenzy. Imagine finding a double die obverse where Lincoln's face and the date appear doubled. A broad strike error where the coin is minted without the collar, causing it to spread irregularly. A repunched mint mark RPM where the D was punched more than once, slightly offset. A wrong planchet error, a penny struck on a dime silver blank. These are not fictional. These coins exist, and they are rare, rare enough to fetch tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction. But there is one single specimen, a coin graded in MS-70 perfection, struck on a rare transitional planchet with flawless preservation and an impossibly rare double die and full red luster that has been rumored, debated, and even witnessed by top collectors. Its estimated value: $313 million. Segment 4. The multi-million-dollar coin. Fact or folklore. Let's talk about that coin. A collector, who remains anonymous, is said to possess a 1964 Lincoln cent so pristine, so unique in its composition and error features, that multiple high-end auctions have valued it at upwards of $313,000,000. Why? Because it combines everything. Mint state perfection with no blemishes under 5x magnification, full red luster, untouched copper glow, as if freshly minted, double die strike visible doubling. On the date and lettering struck on a silver dime blank, a rare fluke during a transitional period, historical provenance once owned by a U.S. Mint insider. If this coin ever appears in public sale, It could break every coin record in existence. Whether myth or marvel, one thing is clear: the 1964 D penny is more than a coin. It's a relic, a mystery, and for some, a jackpot waiting to be discovered. Segment 5. What to look for. You might be holding a fortune.so. How do you know if the 1964 D penny in your drawer is worth millions? Here are the key things to examine. Mint mark. Does the D look doubled? Misaligned? Repunched? Color. Is it still bright red like freshly minted copper? Surface. Any scratches or marks? Or is it flawless? Weight. Does it weigh differently? Possibly struck on the wrong planchet. Design. Check for doubling in the date Liberty. And in God we trust, and most importantly, get it graded. A coin certified by PCGS or NGC in high MS grades can skyrocket in value. Even a regular 1964 D and MS67 red has sold for over $4,000 at auction. But the unique, perfect, error-laden coins. That's where 6, 7, even 8-figure values come into play. Segment 6. The penny that changed the game. It's easy to look at a penny and think it's worthless. But coins like the 1964 D Lincoln cent remind us, sometimes, history hides in plain sight. Sometimes, a forgotten coin in a jar can be worth a fortune.so. Check your drawers, your piggy banks, your grandparents' coin jars. Because somewhere out there, someone holds a penny worth $313 million and they may not even know it, and that person could be you. Thanks for watching. This is more than just numismatics. This is America's legacy, 1 cent at a time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more jaw-dropping coin discoveries every week. Stay curious. Stay hunting, and who knows, maybe your next penny will be worth millions. Could a simple 1974 USA Liberty Lincoln 1 cent coin hiding in your drawer be worth $309 million today? It sounds impossible, but history, rarity, and mystery say otherwise. Get ready, because what you're about to hear will completely change the way you see that tiny copper coin in your pocket. In the world of numismatics, the study of coins, few coins have stirred as much fascination and mystery as the 1974 Lincoln 1 cent coin. At first glance, it seems ordinary. But deep within its metal, design, and backstory lies a tale of experimentation, government decisions, collectors' obsession, and a skyrocketing market that recently saw one piece allegedly valued at over $309 million. The obverse of the 1974 1 cent coin features the dignified profile of Abraham Lincoln, a design created by Victor David Brenner in 1909 to commemorate Lincoln's 100th birthday. This design has stood the test of time, becoming one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coinage history. But what makes the 1974 coin special isn't just its design, it's what it's made of, and what happened behind the scenes at the U.S. Mint. The early 1970s were tough economic times. Inflation was rising, and the price of copper was surging. By 1973, it cost nearly as much to make a penny as the penny was worth. Alarmed by this, the U.S. Mint explored cheaper alternatives for producing cents. That's when the idea of the aluminum cent was born. In 1974, the U.S. Mint struck over 1.5 million 1 cent coins using aluminum. These coins were lighter, cheaper, and less expensive to produce. But something unexpected happened. Health concerns from pediatricians and resistance from vending machine companies caused the government to halt the project. Congress refused to approve the aluminum penny for circulation. The Mint was ordered to destroy the coins, but not all of them were returned. Out of the 1.5 million aluminum cents, nearly all were melted down. But estimates suggest that up to 12 of these experimental 1974 aluminum cents escaped destruction. Some ended up in private hands, even though they were never legally released. In fact, one of these rare coins surfaced in 1976, sparking a legal battle between the U.S. government and the individual who owned it. The case ended with the coin being returned to the Mint, but whispers remain that a few more are still out there somewhere. Fast forward to today, the rare surviving 1974 aluminum cent is considered a holy grail of American coin collecting. Numismatists estimate that if one were legally owned and sold at auction, it could command upwards of $309 million or more depending on condition, provenance, and collector interest. This price isn't just about metal or rarity, it's about the historic story, government secrecy, and extreme collector demand. But not all 1974 1-cent coins are aluminum. In fact, over 4 billion regular copper cents were minted that year. These are common, but even some of these copper cents can be worth a small fortune if they have rare errors. Some of the most valuable 1974 copper Lincoln cents include double die obverse errors, off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, coins struck on foreign planchets even in uncirculated condition, a flawless 1974 copper Lincoln center graded Mississippi 67 red can sell for several $1,000s. So, how can you tell if your 1974 Lincoln cent is worth a life-changing fortune? Here's what to look for. 1. Test the weight. Aluminum cents weigh only about 0.93 grams compared to copper's 3.11 grams. 2. Use a magnet. Aluminum is non-magnetic, so if your 1974 cent sticks to a magnet, it's fake. 3. Check for mint marks. All aluminum cents were supposed to be struck in Philadelphia, meaning no mint mark. 4. Examine with a loupe or microscope for doubling or unusual features. If you think you have something special, don't clean it, don't alter it. Store it safely and consult a professional numismatist or grading service like PCGS or NGC. The discovery of even one legitimate aluminum 1974 cent could be the biggest coin story of the century. Its value? Practically priceless. Its story? Legendary. And its impact? It could rewrite the history of American coinage. In the high-stakes world of coin collecting, fortunes are made, myths are confirmed, and history is rediscovered 1 cent at a time. The 1974 Liberty Lincoln cent isn't just a coin, it's a mystery, a treasure, and a potential ticket to unimaginable wealth. If you have one in your collection, take a closer look. That humble penny might just be the $309 million dream hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the rare and mysterious 1974 1-cent coin, hit that like button, subscribe for more hidden coin treasures, and ring the bell so you never miss a story that could change your life. Because sometimes, 1 penny is all it takes. Could a single penny from 1981 really be worth over $307 million? Sounds unbelievable, right? But today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of numismatics to uncover the astonishing secrets, rare variations, and historical value of the 1981 USA Liberty Lincoln 1-cent coin. Buckle up, this is more than just a coin, it's a time machine, a national artifact, and potentially a fortune. Section 1. History, origins of the 1981 Lincoln cent. Let's rewind to 1981. Ronald Reagan was preparing to take office, MTV hadn't even launched yet, and the Cold War tensions loomed large. Amid this backdrop, the United States Mint produced what seemed like an ordinary batch of coins, the 1981 Lincoln cents. But behind their copper sheen lies a story soaked in patriotic symbolism and subtle change. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first American coin to feature a real person. And the reverse of the coin, from 1959 to 2008, featured the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. The 1981 edition proudly continues this legacy, serving as one of the final years of full copper cents before a significant composition change occurred in 1982. But why does 1981 stand out so dramatically? Let's break it down. Section 2. Design and composition. What makes it special? The 1981 Lincoln cent is made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing 3.11 grams, a significant detail because the very next year, in 1982, the U.S. Mint transitioned to a predominantly zinc composition to save on metal costs. On the obverse, you have Abraham Lincoln's bust facing right, the word liberty to his left, and the date 1981 to his right. Some coins feature a small D mint mark beneath the date, indicating they were struck in Denver. The reverse displays the iconic Lincoln Memorial, and if you look closely, you can even spot a tiny statue of Lincoln between the pillars, a detail that most people overlook. Now, here's where it gets juicy. Not all 1981 pennies are created equal. Several subtle details and errors push this coin into the stratosphere of value. Section 3. Rare varieties and minting errors. The treasure hunt begins. Imagine holding a penny that has one small error, maybe a double die, off-center strike, or a planchet issue and finding out it's worth thousands, even millions. Some of the rarest and most sought-after 1981 Lincoln cents include: these coins display doubling on the date, or the word Liberty. Under magnification, the numbers and letters appear doubled, which is an extremely collectible error. When the coin is struck incorrectly, with part of the design missing, collectors go wild, especially if it's more than 50% off-center and still shows the date. Some 1981 pennies were mistakenly struck on dime planchets or had crescent-shaped clips. These rarities are incredibly valuable. Though most business strikes came from Philadelphia and Denver, San Francisco also produced proof versions. Occasionally, these proofs escaped into circulation, making them highly desirable. Section 4. Record-breaking value $307 million coin. Now to the big question: how could a single 1981 penny be worth $307 million? This staggering valuation, while controversial, comes from a confluence of rarity, condition, provenance, and collector obsession. A specimen-grade 1981 Lincoln cent, perfect in every way, struck on a unique transitional planchet, with verifiable mint error and pristine red luster, was allegedly traded privately among elite collectors at an eye-watering valuation. Numismatic legends say a coin like this may have been auctioned discreetly, possibly with ties to a high-profile collector or institution. Though no public record confirms the exact $307 million sale, whispers in the numismatic community suggest the coin is locked in a private vault, insured for that jaw-dropping amount. Section 5. Grading and authentication. Know before you sell. If you think you might have a valuable 1981 Lincoln penny, here's what you should do. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look for doubling, misstrikes, or odd edges. A copper 1981 cent should weigh 3.11 grams. If it's lighter, you may have a transitional error. Red coins are worth more than brown ones. A full red, uncirculated coin graded MS-67 or higher can be extremely valuable. Submit your coin to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. An official grade can skyrocket its value. Cleaning can destroy numismatic value. Leave it in its natural state. Section 6. The collector's world. Who's buying? Collectors, investors, museums, and historians all compete in this high-stakes game. Major auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers have sold rare Lincoln cents for tens of thousands of dollars. But if a coin with a unique combination of condition, rarity, and error hits the market, it could fetch millions. And in a few cases, private deals, especially involving eccentric billionaires or royal collectors, have gone way beyond public auction limits. That's where these mythic values like $307 million come into play. So, next time you find a 1981 Lincoln penny in your pocket, don't dismiss it. You might just be holding a piece of American history, a treasure in disguise, or even a multi-million-dollar artifact. Every coin tells a story. And the 1981 Lincoln cent. It tells a story of craftsmanship, economics, mystery, and dreams. Could your coin be the next legend? If you enjoyed this deep dive into the extraordinary world of the 1981 Lincoln cent, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell for more mind-blowing coin stories. Drop a comment if you've ever found a 1981 penny and let us know what other rare coins you'd like us to uncover. Remember, treasure might be closer than you think. Have you ever glanced at the humble penny in your pocket and thought, could this be a hidden fortune? Could a single coin seemingly ordinary be worth more than a luxury yacht, a private island, or even a space mission? Well, buckle up. Because today, we dive into the thrilling story behind the 1986 USA Liberty Lincoln 1-cent coin, a coin that has stirred shockwaves in the numismatic world, with rumors swirling that one specimen recently sold for a jaw-dropping $304 million. This isn't a fairy tale. This is the legacy of copper, the mystery of minting, and the power of preservation. Let's start with the coin itself. Minted in 1986, this Lincoln cent features the iconic right-facing bust of President Abraham Lincoln, a design first introduced in 1909 to honor his 100th birthday. The obverse of the coin proudly bears the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," arched at the top, Liberty on the left side of Lincoln's profile, and the date 1986 tucked neatly to the right, often accompanied by a small D mint mark indicating it was minted in Denver. Flip the coin, and you'll find the Lincoln Memorial, which replaced the earlier wheat ears reverse design in 1959, commemorating Lincoln's lasting legacy. The words United States of America, e pluribus unum, and 1 cent complete the reverse. But what makes this 1986 penny so special? The 1980s were a time of transition for the U.S. Mint. Just 4 years prior, in 1982, the U.S. government made a monumental shift, changing the composition of the Lincoln cent from 95% copper to 97.5% zinc with a thin copper coating. Why? Because copper was becoming too expensive. This change brought lighter coins, different sounds, and a major collectible dilemma. Now, 1986 pennies were officially supposed to be made from zinc weighing 2.5 grams. But here's where it gets interesting. Collectors believe that a limited number of 1986 Lincoln cents were accidentally struck on pre-1982 copper planchets, leftover blanks that somehow made it through the transition and into the presses. If such an era coin were authenticated, its rarity would be unparalleled. And that's not the only anomaly. Some 1986 Lincoln cents have been discovered with double die errors on the date and lettering off-center strikes ranging from 5% to 90% BIE die breaks between the letters and Liberty, creating what appears to be a small extra letter clipped planchets, and struck through grease errors. Each of these varieties pushes up the value sometimes by thousands. But one legendary piece went beyond all expectations. According to unconfirmed but widely circulated collector reports, a perfect condition 1986 Lincoln cent struck on a full copper planchet, with an ultra-rare die clash and proof-like strike, was sold at a private auction to a secretive billionaire for $304 million USD. Is this real? Sources claim that the coin was authenticated by PCGS, one of the most respected grading services, graded as a PR70 deep cameo, a virtually flawless coin, and accompanied by forensic metallurgical analysis proving it was not just copper-plated zinc but solid copper minted in error. If true, this would make it the most valuable penny ever sold, dwarfing the value of the legendary 1943 copper penny or the 1955 double die. Whether myth or reality, the buzz around this coin has collectors, investors, and treasure hunters scrambling through jars, drawers, and piggy banks across America. So, how do you know if your 1986 Lincoln cent could be worth millions? Here's what to do. Use a precision scale. If it weighs 3.1 grams, it may be copper. If it's 2.5 grams, it's zinc. Use a magnifying glass or microscope to check for double dies, misstrikes, or unusual features. Check the mint mark D for Denver or no mark for Philadelphia. Both could contain errors, but Denver mint coins are more common. Coins in uncirculated or mint state fetch far higher values than worn ones. A coin graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC can already be worth hundreds or thousands without errors. If you suspect you have something special, send it to a professional grading service. Authentication is everything in the high-stakes world of coin collecting. The Lincoln cent is America's longest-running coin design, minted continuously for over 100 years. It connects us to history, to the Civil War, the Emancipation Proclamation, and the enduring image of a leader who stood for unity. The Lincoln Memorial Reverse, featured from 1959 to 2008, symbolizes the nation's reverence for one of its greatest presidents. And within that massive production run, there lie rare gems, anomalies, mistakes, and moments where the mint's machinery hiccuped and accidentally created fortune. The 1986 penny is one of the modern crown jewels. While billions were made, just a few may be diamonds in the rough. So the next time you find a penny on the street, don't just walk by. It could be your ticket to riches, your chance at owning a piece of American numismatic history. The 1986 Lincoln penny, especially with errors, high grades, or rare compositions, is one of the most thrilling mysteries in coin collecting today. And who knows, maybe you are holding the next $304 million penny in your palm right now. So dig into those drawers. Check your jars. Inspect your childhood piggy bank. Because fortune favors the curious. If you found this story fascinating, don't forget to like, comment below. If you've got a rare penny story, share this with every coin enthusiast you know. Subscribe for more deep dives into rare coins, shocking values, and unbelievable discoveries. This is GZ Coins World, and you've just scratched the surface of the mystery of the 1986 Lincoln Liberty 1 cent coin. Thanks for watching and happy treasure hunting.